What's up? What's happening? What's good? My beautiful air signs. That would be Libra, Gemini, and of course Aquarius. No smoke with all the other signs, but I want to make this particular reading. I want to attribute it towards my air signs. I'm going to be using the New Orleans Tarot deck, as well as the Cat People Tarot. And then I will pull from the deck my friend got me here. I believe it's called the inverted tarot. Alright, so we're going to do air signs. What's to behold from the air signs as we enter into the nucleus of November? I had a card flip over. So we have growth. Many of you are grounding yourself in some sort of craft or ability. You're, and of course, unfortunately, growth kind of insinuates a hard time as well. So you may be, a temporary hard time, that is. You may be going through, I'm sensing a lot of changes on the work front. Things may feel unstable, and that's actually a good thing, because the less you know about where the future is going, the more, for lack of a better word, faith or confidence you can impart into your own future. We have dreams. A lot of you are having very vivid dreams. And this isn't any disrespect to anybody who uses cannabis, but even if you use cannabis, I don't, but if you use cannabis, take like 3 to 5 days off. You know, really, you shouldn't be doing that, but take like 3 to 5, 7 days off, and observe how your dreams kind of return. All right, I'll leave it at that. We'll come back to dreams in a minute. Last for this deck, nature. So we have growth, dreams, and nature. So my air signs. A lot of you are growing. A lot of you are crystallizing. You could be seeing you could be taking like a lot of new chances. You may be talking to people you would never have talked to. Listening to new music, watching new movies. I mean, there's a whole, panel of things you could be doing. Your dreams are trying to communicate with you, especially you being kind of inclined towards your mental faculties, especially you Geminis and Libras. You know, you guys are always fleeting from one idea to the next. And nature. So many of you this time of year are going to the fall. What I mean by that is like you're going to, out in the woods. You may be being called to certain aspects of yourself to like discover in nature. And, I feel like a lot of you watching, despite it being cold, y'all are kind of like, I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? I'll still, deposit my energy into nature. Coming out of the Cat People Tarot, we have the 9 of Wands. So again, back to this growth. Those cards kind of correspond. You feel confident in yourself, but at the same time, you're feeling like, when is this crap going to be over? When am I going to be able to just chill out? When is all this courage and persistence going to pay off? A lot of you have changed careers. I'm getting that too. I'm hearing, What I Say by Ray Charles. I'm also hearing Take My Hand, Precious Lord, the Mahalia Jackson version. So faith is kind of the presiding element over this reading, and that can be achieved if you just get back to nature and trust your intuition, which has a direct circuitry with your dreams, okay? continue to pull this card like for the last 5 readings in a row. High Priestess. So this is really a call to rely on your intuition. You may feel kind of insecure about the job situation. You may be a person who comes from a real stable job. Let's say, I don't know, a teacher, or, you know, this is no, when I say occupations like teacher, a bag boy, doggone post office worker, it has nothing to do with your rank or your status. I'm talking about simply the station that you have established in the earthly world. All right, that's it. I don't deal in this whole ranking system of, you know, when it comes to readings, right? Excuse me, I don't deal with that, because that has nothing to do with, you know, it's giving me that scene in Bruce Almighty at the end when the homeless guy turns into Morgan Freeman, who in that movie is God, in case you didn't know. So it's this idea of not judging people. I don't judge people. I guess I could have just said that, but all right, here we go. We have the Three of Wands. So, okay. So even though you feel a little hesitant about this new line of work, nature is kind of, or maybe it's not only like, you know, the trees, the ocean, animals and such. Maybe it's your human nature. Great song, by the way. Your human nature is kind of guiding you to kind of just celebrate and continue to trust your intuition. I feel like the Nine of Wands, to you, you're one of those people who can kind of, yeah, you have your human moments. You may sigh. You may be like, why me? But you don't weep and piss and moan about it. I feel like you kind of just look to the sky, you look to the divine, and you just almost like laugh at it. Like, is that all you got? See those lights in the background? So you're somebody, so that's that High Priestess energy. You're able to synthesize the BS of society with like beauty. And you being an air sign, you may know things and you may know how to express your knowledge of that without articulating it in such a dense way, you know? So you may have a real smooth charisma to you, man or woman. You may know how to, you may have like a supernatural ability to get to know people. You may find people coming up to you saying things that are particularly personal. You may wonder why people choose to tell you very heavy information. The truth is they don't even know exactly why. It's all in the energy. It's all in that High Priestess beautiful energy. I'm gonna let that call ride. Ten of Wands in reverse. All right, so a lot of what you're doing is, pardon me, that was reversed. A lot of what you're doing is helping you to, sorry, that phone call kind of threw me off. All right, so you feel, because notice 2 cards before that you had the Nine of Wands. So a lot of fire energy coming in here. You might have been dealing with a fire sign, or maybe a fire sign actually caused you to be in your head a lot, but you have a reason to celebrate and your burdens are about to be cast aside. A lot of ultimate, like, you know, energies that may cause you to tense up are being cast aside at this time. I'm going to do one more from this deck, and then we're going to conclude. It popped right out, so I got to take that one. We have the King of Swords. So you're somebody who doesn't play around when it comes to what you say. You know what you mean when you say it. Last card on that deck. Let's move to this deck here. So in total, we have, from that deck anyway, we have the Nine of Wands, we have the High Priestess, We have the Three of Wands. We have the Ten of Wands in reverse. So a lot of what you're doing now, you're going to be able to speak it confidently. You being an air sign, you have the ability to say and think about things in a uncanny way that kind of benefits you. Sometimes a lot of people, and you know, it depends on your chart and your extended things and like that. It's not this, I always like to say, yahoo.com version of, well, I'm a Libra, so that means I'm generous. Or you're a Capricorn, so that means you're an asshole. Or you're, you know, Aries, so you don't know how to chill out. I don't look at it that way. There's a lot of different intersections and dimensions within what energies kind of surround you. And it's always, I would say, endlessly fascinating to explore that. But you can't just look at a person and say, you know, like for instance, Nat Turner was Libra, right? We all know what he did. You know, trying to think of another example. I believe Adolf such and such was an Aries, but not everybody viewed him as a warmonger. Two drastically different figures, I know, but we can't just go off the solar return of what somebody is, okay? It's a lot deeper than that. All right. I love this deck. Nice and thin. What do you know? Two kings. We have King of Wands. All right, so I feel like you're gonna be meeting a fire sign, man or woman. Remember the energies, you know, they don't deal in gender. We're talking about principalities and you know, more of a formulaic type of mindset here with the energies. But I feel like you're gonna be meeting a King of Wands. If you do not, you are this particular so you're kind of a boss when it comes to your words and the way you move. You may dress very nice. You may be in some sort of abundance right now. Even if you don't have a lot of money, the way that you present yourself and carry yourself, your presence itself is abundance. I'm hearing that. I'm hearing this old ass line from this show. What was that show called? I want to say, "Hey Arnold, cool moves for happening dudes." Sharp dressed man, ZZ Top. She's on fire. That I always think of that. What was it? Is that in Scarface? Yeah. In the club, that song. She's on fire. She's on, you know, 80s type stuff. She's on fire. So you may be, you know, whoever you are, you have very good looks on your side, and that may be reflected in your wardrobe or, you know, your physical countenance. You know, you may be very beautiful. We have the Hierophant. So you may be in school. A lot of you are, I feel like a lot of you have already got out of school though, and you're not one of those people to stay locked in school. Nothing wrong with that, but that's just not what I'm sensing. A Hierophant is somebody who's very institutionalized, and what I mean when I say that is they're very traditional. You know what I'm saying? They may be an authority figure, a teacher, perhaps a religious leader of some sort. Let me do one more from this deck. Thank you. Oops, something just wanted to pop out. I'm gonna keep shuffling. Alright, now the next one I gotta just let it ride. I gotta let it ride. Here we go. Ooh, I don't know if you can read that. So, air signs. As we get deeper into winter, I need you to be aware of your, I don't like this word, but addictions, anything bounding you to the physical world. Let's see. 1, 2, Okay, I got one more. Pardon me. So from this particular deck, we have the King of Wands, which is 5. We have the Hierophant, but then we have the Devil. The Devil is not an evil card. It just represents restriction. I know Saturn went direct quite recently. And of course, Saturn is that other S word, in case you didn't know also. So even though it's not an evil planet, it does align with restrictive energies. Take it as it resonates. Your final card for this reading. Your final card for this reading are beautiful air signs. Beautiful air signs. Beautiful air signs. What we got? Boom. The 9 of Pentacles. So you are breaking some aspect of restriction, and because you're breaking that, you're getting heavily rewarded for it. This may be an attachment to a person, a particular energy. Let's say you had a tumultuous breakup, and because of that, now you've landed a new job. You've landed it's like you trusted your intuition and you put your burdens to the side and you said what you had to say. And I feel like you were ruthless with it. You may have even screamed in somebody's face. Don't ask me how I know. But you may have screamed in someone's face. You may have even I hope you didn't do this, because I actually have distant past thrown your phone, right? You may have shown a lot of emotion and charged your words with that. So we started off quite peaceful with growth and dreams and nature, and then we get into all this wands energy and these swords and the high priestess, which is you, that I presume. All right. I feel like these other 4 cards are another person, air sign. And as you go through the winter, and as we approach winter, I should say, and you shed kind of the old skin, I feel like you are kind of a disciple of your own justice with this Hierophant card. And you're either facing a restriction, or this could be, the Devil could also be your own mind. And, they taught us something kind of interesting. I'm about to close out, but they taught us something kind of interesting when I was obtaining my English degree as an undergraduate student. They said the English language is full of many tricks and detours, my professor called it. So a lot of things you say 10 times in quick succession, they often have a double meaning. Think about 10 being a new, or kind of a different expression of 1. 1 plus 0 equals 1. So if you say double 10 times in quick succession, the double, the double, the double, the double, the double, the double, you intrinsically are saying the devil, the devil, the devil, the devil. Feel me? So devil really doesn't mean what our connotation thinks it means. It just means a mirror energy. That's where you get the word doppelganger. You know what I'm saying? It's the same formula as the double, the double, the double, the double. So I say all that to say the double, or the devil, could be your own mind. It could be your shadow work that you're completing. The shadow work that's going to get you to your 9 of Pentacles, your great physical, earthly abundance, right? And I feel you faced a lot of shit. You may have been betrayed. You may have been cheated on. Things kept from you. You may have been breadcrumbed. Like I said earlier, man or woman, you might have been, you might have been fooling around with somebody, and then they might have ghosted you. They might have kind of just left you and then came back like, hey, what's good? I haven't talked to you in a while. Or, hey you, or hey strength, all that type of kind of just probing you, poking you, right, to see how you react. So somebody might have tried to play with you. I'm not gonna lie, I'm sensing that heavy. But I feel like this is a very significant card in your reading, air sign, the Hierophant. And last thing I'll say is air signs are very mental beings. We find ourselves in our heads a lot. I don't think anyone is better than the other, but Libras, Gemini, Aquarius, all of you have a tendency to overreact and overthink. Um, it's a lifelong journey, but I feel like a lot of that is being quelled. You're getting to a new route in your life where you can conduct that energy from your brain into your words. And even if you're not yelling in somebody's face, you can say it in such a profound way that it will ignite the regality that's in you, and you can combat this, last time I'm going to say it, this restriction, this devil. This could also represent Saturn, even though the world is a Saturn card. This could represent the Saturn in you. You may be going through a Saturn return. You may be going through a dark night of the soul. Saturn is simply that force over you. Look at Saturn as that coach that you hate, but the coach that you'll never forget. That's how I taught one of my brothers how to treat Saturn. Saturn is the asshole that you can't live without. Saturn is the force that you look back in your life and say, that motherfucker was so strict and always blowing their whistle and always screaming at me. But I'm just using a football analogy. But if he hadn't have whipped me into shape, that's where that phrase comes from. Saturn whips us into shape. Sports, life, relationships, jobs, income. That's why that force rules wealth. Because it's about pushing you to the physical limit and mental limit to the point where you have no choice but to grow and get better. And that's why it's symbolized by the number 8. It's like as above, so below, as within, so without. So the more of Saturn's force that you're able to endure, the more wealthy you will become. All right. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope this was helpful to my air signs out here. Get out of your head. Stop thinking so much. Previous love interest of mine, fire sign, Aries, she used to tell me all the time, it's all in your head, it's all in your head, it's all in your head. But that was funny to me because Aries rules the head, like anatomically. So, okay, I'm going to leave it there. I'm probably going to do a few more tonight. Something is just stirring my conscience to do so. I hope you guys have an incredible evening. I thank you. I appreciate you. And I will see you in the next one.